Hi, I'm Jenny Lyon, and I'm here to talk about my book, Free-Motion Quilting, From Ordinary to Extraordinary, with C&T Publishing. Everyone says that in order to get good at free-motion quilting, you have to practice, practice, practice. And I say practice, meaning where play meets practice. And I've got a technique here that I want to show you today that makes practicing fun. And it's quilting from the back. The quilt that you see behind me, I've done that way. And I'm going to give you an overview, and then I'm going to explain some of the details of that process. So this quilt was actually quilted from the back, and I used a very large scale print on the back, and then I quilted from the back, following the lines that are in the print. And then when you turn it over from the front, you've got this beautiful quilting in a very low stress environment. So I'm going to walk you through that process. Your first thing you want to think about is your choice of fabrics, because your choice of fabric is everything. So I've got a couple of fabrics here that are really good for quilting from the back. So I've got a batik here. It's got a grid already marked. This is a no-mark grid, which is wonderful. And if you flip it over, this would be your backing. And then from the front of your quilt, you would see quilting that looked like that. I've got this cute little Tula pink here. And if you quilted just along these lines here, from the front of your quilt, it's going to look like this. Another example, you're going to have fabrics where the motifs are not connected, so you've got to figure out a way to get from one motif to another. And in this case, I just did a simple bubble in between the daisies, and you get this cute little look from the back. And this one is a beautiful large-scale print. Lots of fun to quilt this one, and I want to point out that some of your fabrics are going to have fussy little details, like see in here, and I'm not going to quilt each one of those. I'm just going to take that general attitude with my quilting and just do a couple of those little spiky things. And then from the back, you got this beautiful quilting. And lastly, I've got a very large scale print here, and all of these are disconnected. So I just did a simple loop-de-loop in between my motifs, and you have this glorious quilting from the back. And this is the same fabric in a different colorway. And I just again want to point out that you're not going to do all the fussy little details. I'm not going to come in here and do all these little zigzaggy things. It just makes it a lot simpler. And I also want to show you fabrics that don't work well, because you need to choose your fabric well. In this case, this is just too fussy. There's too many little details. This is going to be too hard to figure out how to quilt. This is too small a scale. And this is just way too jumbled, I think, to figure out your path. So just a quick tip when you're choosing your fabric. If you're in the fabric store and you're thinking about that fabric for your backing, take your fingernail and just trace a path that you think you might use to quilt. And if you're having difficulty doing that, that's a clue. That's probably not a good choice for your fabric. So I hope that you'll use this technique. I think it's a very fun technique, very low stress technique, and your quilting will look fabulous on the front even if you didn't hit all the lines. My book is Free Motion Quilting, From Ordinary to Extraordinary, and I'm Jenny Lyon. Thank you.